Breaking news from Minneapolis last hour. The Justice Department out with a damning assessment of the Minneapolis Police Department. An investigation launched after the death of George Floyd at the hands of Officer Derek Chauvin. The DOJ finding the department uses excessive force and discriminates against Black and Native Americans.
Our review found numerous incidents in which MPD officers responded to a person's statement that they could not breathe with the version of, "You can breathe. You're talking right now." We found that MPD unlawfully discriminates against Black and Native American people. MPD stopped Black and Native American people nearly 6 times more often than white people in situations that did not result in arrest or citation, given their shares of the population.
And joining me now is NBC News correspondent Shaquille Brewster, who very closely covered the aftermath of the George Floyd death, and David Henderson, civil rights attorney and former prosecutor. So, Shaq, let me start with you. And as we said before, you were at this at the beginning. You watched the whole process play out. Walk us through the full findings of this 2-year investigation.
Yeah, this was an extensive report that we saw from the Department of Justice. That 92-page report, it had photos, it had graphs, it had specific examples from their interviews with members of the community, substantiating the claims that we heard way back in 2020. The main findings from their report is, one, that you had a police department that engaged in excessive force in violation of the Fourth Amendment. The report also says they unlawfully discriminated against Black and Native American people, and they violated First Amendment rights, and specifically mentioned instances with the press who were covering the outrest after the death of George Floyd. The final finding is that there was unnecessary and potentially harmful law enforcement response when responding to behavioral health issues. And that's something that you heard. You had the city mayor there, you had the city's police chief there. They're saying that many of these changes, many of the proposals from the DOJ are already being implemented in that city. There's already a ban on chokeholds and neck restraints. There's already a review of the use of force policies, including looking at and emphasizing how you can de-escalate a lot of those interactions. But this is a pretty extensive report, and I'll tell you, a lot of people in Minneapolis who were there protesting after the murder of George Floyd, they're going to be paying close attention to this because this validates many of the claims they were initially making.
You say that they're already starting to implement these reforms, but does this report talk about the accountability in terms of the implementation of this over the long term?
Well, this will lead to a consent decree, a court or enforceable agreement between the city of Minneapolis and the Department of Justice. One thing to note here is that the current police chief, he knows this process. He was the former police chief in Newark and had to shepherd that city through a similar consent decree with the Department of Justice. Another factor is that the city of Minneapolis, they are already under a similar court enforceable agreement with the state based on the state's investigation. So this is a police department that will likely see a lot of change. You're already seeing some of that change. It's just unfortunate that a lot of this change is happening after the deaths and injuries of citizens in Minneapolis.
Yeah. So, David, let's go to you now and just give us your reaction to this department's investigation of the Minneapolis Police Department. You know, obviously, Shaq already talked about what's going to happen in Minneapolis, but will this have an impact on police departments nationwide?
The only effect it's going to have on police departments nationwide, we've already seen coming from the circumstances that led to this report, and that is simply that officers are going to be more cautious, at least during this administration currently in the White House, because they don't want to be subject to a DOJ probe themselves. Let's keep in mind, as damning as this report is, as Shaq just mentioned, it's not the first report like this. It's the second report like this, because the Minneapolis Police Department was investigated by 2 different entities, by a state entity and a federal entity. But the biggest issue with the report is actually not contained within the report. It's based on the basic idea that you cannot fix what you will not acknowledge. Shaq and I both were on lots of times in the past during Derek Chauvin's trial, talking about the way the evidence unfolded during the trial. And the Minneapolis Police Department several times during the trial said, Derek Chauvin is just one bad apple. The rest of the people who wear the badge are good in our department. These 2 reports show that's not true. So one of 2 things must be true. Either you're not aware of what's going on within your department, or you're intentionally denying what's going on within your department. That has to raise questions about the likelihood of meaningful change.
David, I want to talk to you about a new poll that's out by the Washington Post and Ipsos, and it shows that half of Black Americans say racism will get worse over the rest of their lifetimes. And this is striking. Nearly 70% say that it's actually more dangerous to be a Black teen than it was when they were teens. Do these results surprise you, or do you think this is indicative of the time that we're living in right now?
Unfortunately, they don't surprise me, which is difficult because you want nothing more as a civil rights lawyer than to express hope for the future. But I have the blessing and the curse of officing with one of the last living links to Dr. King, a man named Reverend Peter Johnson, who was at the original March on Washington. He was on the bridge on Selma the second time. And I think when I talked to him, what I realized is the belief always was that, hey, maybe people just don't know what's going on, but if they saw it, we'd see change. And the George Floyd case, if anything, reflects that. Seeing it even is not enough because, and I think Philando Castile's mother said this best. She said, God gave you my son to show you what's going on. Let's see if you get it right, basically, at George Floyd. And we haven't so far.
Yeah, still a lot of work to do. Shaq Brewster, David Henderson, thank you both. We appreciate it.